100 years, First Choice Bank has provided dedicated
At Absolute Restoration, our team will feel magical since our focus is on serving you and your roofing needs. Finding a roofer who actually shows up and communicates, that's just one of the problems we solve by informing you of every step in the process.
Selling premium roofing systems backed by warranties and payment plans starting at just $99 per month. Trust Absolute Restoration to deliver.
Experience unicorn-level service and affordability from a team your community trusts. Call Absolute Restoration today.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Good evening and welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and what a day it has been. A perfect Monday to start the work week. Dare I say, the best Monday of 2025, at least weather-wise, right? Well, what we're going to be talking about here tonight at 6 is the cooler temperatures, how they're trending even cooler over the next, not just 24 hours, not just the next 7 days, but that continues well into next week as well. The latest on those temperature outlooks, but we're going to start the show off by talking to our chief meteorologist, Matt Lobhon, here in just a second. Big things this week for Mississippi Live Weather. He'll be breaking down just what exactly to expect coming up here shortly. Still cool for school. Heading throughout our school week ahead, it's going to be a great forecast. And will the cooler temperatures last? Like I mentioned, we're going to be walking through that outlook and just what to expect in that Mississippi Live Weather forecast on the extended front here in just a moment. Lots to look forward to and lots of good news to look forward to. And the first 12 goes ahead and highlights exactly that. Temperature-wise, we're in the upper 60s as early as 1 a.m., but transitioning towards tomorrow morning, we're seeing mid-60s for a lot of locations as we head across that morning commute. You might also notice decent chances of rainfall really picking up around 7 a.m. It's going to be perfect to kind of help alleviate those drought conditions. But you know what rain is not good for? The football forecast. And that's what we're going to be joined by our chief meteorologist, Matt Lobhon, here right now, walking us through what to expect with the football forecast going forward, as well as, Matt, just explain where you are right now.
Well, I'm going to take a picture here in a second. I had someone ask about that just a moment ago here, but we're out at Renaissance Field at Tupelo High School because it is football season, and the first official Friday night of the football season, the one that counts, comes up this week on a Friday, and we are going to be covering Friday football here on Mississippi Live Weather, at least to a certain extent. The way we're planning on doing that is with a Friday night football game of the week, and you can help us with that. And we've already asked a lot of you guys on Facebook about that earlier on today. See that video there that my son and I made a little earlier on, asking folks to submit different ideas on where we should go for our Friday night football game of the week. And you have done that. As you can see kind of the right-hand part, a lot of different locations listed there. What we're going to do is we're going to go through there and we're going to narrow that down to 3 that we're going to try to cover. And we're going to cover one of those for our Friday night football game of the week. But again, we need your help to get as many options there in that list as possible. And then we'll need your help to narrow it down from 3 to 1. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to go out to that location. We're going to cover that game. We're going to do highlights like hopefully you've never seen before. We're looking forward to hopefully doing a good job of that. But we're also going to give you the opportunity to vote on band and cheerleaders of the week. It's just a way for us to kind of feature different communities. And yes, while I'm here at Tupelo and they're playing Pontotoc in a junior varsity game here on a Monday evening, we're going to be sure that we're going to all different sorts of locations across North Mississippi. Because again, we have expanded our coverage area back out in the Mississippi Delta. So we want to make sure we can feature all sorts of different locations throughout this football season. But Gabe, we need the help of people at home for that to make sure that we can do our best job of selecting which locations we're going live. So again, the voting on that, where you can vote, it's going to be on Facebook. We're going to have that tomorrow. And we'll have that down to 3 teams. And then from there, you will decide which of those locations, technically, I guess 6 teams, but 3 games, and which of those places we're going to be for our Friday night football game of the week coming up this Friday evening. So, Gabe, it's that time of year where everyone gets a little bit football crazed, and we're excited to be out here in Tupelo this evening to kick it off. Live in Tupelo, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lobhon from Mississippi Live Weather. Yeah, what were you going to say, Gabe?
I was going to say, someone said in the chat earlier at 5 that when, fall is near when football is here, and I've never heard a truer statement in the South.
That is the truth. And fall also kind of feels like it's here with the weather, right? It's manageable. I'm not sweating from every surface of my body right now, so that's at least an improvement from where we've been, right?
Well, I want to say, give props to your mom. She was right on the money with the forecast.
On the whole summer peaking thing, yeah.
Exactly.
She usually sends that out about the right time, and she kind of nailed it this time around.
Well, you got it from someone, right?
Well, she's on top of it, always has been.
Well, sweet. Well, Matt, enjoy your time at the game, and we're just excited about the football forecast. Oh, wait, go ahead and say the announcement. What's happening Wednesday?
Oh, man, I'm glad you reminded me because we don't want people to miss this. Starting this Wednesday morning at 6:30 a.m., we're doing something we had mentioned we would do from the launch of Mississippi Live Weather, and that is doing live weather in the morning. Our meteorologist, Maggie McCauley, she is going to be with us at 6:30 a.m., at 7 a.m., and at 7:30 a.m. every morning, Monday through Friday, to give you live updates on the weather. And so that means when obviously there's storms on radar, we're going to be covering that very closely. But every day, if you're looking for that live forecast and you know the exact moment it's going to hit, well, that's going to end up being at 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m., and 7:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. So yeah, we're so excited to be able to kind of round out our team with someone who's just, more, it's recognizable to people here across North Mississippi. I mean, if we're all honest, taught you in college some of what you did, and certainly taught me a lot about social media over the course of her time here. So we're so excited to have Maggie as part of our expanding team on Mississippi Live Weather, and you'll be able to see her. So many folks have been asking about it. That's going to be Wednesday starting at 6:30 a.m. So kind of cool. Looking forward to it, and hopefully everyone will enjoy her forecasts here forward.
Well, you're officially outnumbered. Mississippi State outnumbers you 3-1 now.
Well, and that's not a bad thing. Y'all do a great job. Mississippi State has done an excellent job producing meteorologists all over the country, not just here. I'm just lucky to be able to have the pick of the litter, so to speak, on y'all are Bulldogs. I can actually use that. How have I never used that before? Anyway, the pick of who comes out of Mississippi State, I'm very fortunate that over the years we've been able to have some of the best.
Just wait till we form our band. It'll be Matt and the Dogs.
Oh, man. The Dogs and Matt. Either way.
Yeah, either one, whichever you want to put it, but definitely going to be coming at some point to a stage near you. But Matt, well, we're going to let you go enjoy the football game, enjoy some JV football, and just enjoy the cooler air. And that's what we're going to be tracking here at the studio as well, is just an outlook on that forecast. And Matt, live in Tupelo right now, low 80s, upper 70s right now, as those temperatures really draw back. Aberdeen 82 as well. A big driver in that forecast that we've been talking over the past several days with our meteorologist Caleb Edelblue have been those winds blowing out of the north, some of that drier continental air. That keeps those cooler conditions and, of course, those drier conditions. And we can see that on dew points with the dew point currently in the Aberdeen area at 59 degrees. Whenever we're talking about 59 and 82, that broad disparity from the bottom to the top, that's what's keeping that drier air around. Whenever it's more of a muggy forecast, that dew point a little bit higher, could be all the way in the low to mid 70s. So low to mid 70s to 82. A little bit closer than upper 50s to 82. 84 degrees in Greenville. Some of that cloud cover starting to build in there on the west side of Mississippi. That's a result of that stationary front cycling in some of that moisture with a few of those pop-up showers. Already seeing it, but really going to be numerous in coverage for our morning commute on our Tuesday. Kosciuszko, 82 degrees, still feeling like 84, feeling right around that same range, just a result of the lack of muggy air that we're experiencing, keeping those temperatures at bay. And I mean, at bay is even too high of a threshold. We need to say cool, because it did feel cool. If you walked outside anytime this morning or overnight last night, Pontotoc 79 degrees, still with those 5 to 10 mile an hour northerly winds. It's just a forecast you can only dream of this time of year. And folks in Smithville definitely enjoying that as we head into that extended forecast. I think I put every camera in here. I did not move the cameras. We will look at more cameras coming up in just a second, but even down in Starkville, just a beautiful sight. Temperatures across the region, this is what I wanted to get to. We're seeing upper 70s in Tupelo, so Matt, actually one of the cooler areas in the area, 88 Greenwood, 86 Kosciuszko, and 85 there towards Greenville. Northwest side, 77 Tunica and 78 in South Haven. A big driver in the reason why there some of the cooler temperatures is because of that cloud cover, limiting how much that heating gets in our atmosphere, and that's resulting in some of our cooler temperatures. Feels like Valley right around that same threshold, showing that drier air and the impact that we're seeing with it. So just a very fortunate forecast, and we're soaking up every second, not in the sweaty type of soak up, but just literally soaking up that great weather. Mississippi Live Weather Radar has some of those showers moving into the West Helena and Hernando area. That's going to primarily be there for the start of our late afternoon or early evening, but those becoming a bit more numerous as we head overnight. As I expand this out into Futurecast, I'm going to zoom this out shortly just to kind of get a broadened view on what to expect with those showers, because really we need to be looking at this frontal boundary. And while yes, the front's dipping further to the south, we have several elevations of that front. So more of that moisture being seen in our area because that front higher up into the atmosphere is a little bit closer to North Mississippi. So of course those showers are going to originate, but also develop over the top of us as we head overnight. So Tuesday morning, yes, the front's building south, but that front, this is not moving. That rainfall is not moving. I'm going to have to tweak this between hits, but I apologize for that. But basically that front's going to reside right over the top of us, really upping our rain chances into our Tuesday morning. So we'll be walking through that forecast here in just a moment. The next 24 shows those best rain chances towards our morning commute. We saw it get as high as 40% around 7 and 8 o'clock. Those starting to diminish throughout the rest of the day with some isolated showers continuing 9 to 12 and then 10% coverage with isolated coverage around 3 to 6 p.m. for your afternoon. A little bit of a flip-flop in the forecast because we typically see showers in the afternoon. Well, tomorrow we're going to see it in the morning with a drier afternoon. So coming up in 60, I will fix that futurecast. I apologize for that, and we'll be walking through that in detail of when to expect those rain chances, how long the cooler air sticks around for, and we told you we have an extended temperature outlook. We'll be looking at in full detail on Mississippi Live Weather at 6 in the next 60.
As a nurse, I've seen a lot of people with sleep deprivation. It affects their job, their home life. At Room to Room, we want to take the guesswork out of buying a mattress, and that's why we brought in this technology. It shows you what you need. We want to do the assessment and find exactly what's perfect for you.
Your family deserves the most beautiful smile possible. At Tupelo Smiles, we use precision dentistry and advanced technology to make visiting the dentist an amazing experience. Relationship-based comprehensive care. Come discover the difference at Tupelo Smiles.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The Health Class Film Guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, I told you I'd get some cameras in this hit, and we did exactly that, moving Pontotoc down because Pontotoc showcases a unique feature, and that's some of that stratus cloud cover blanketing the sky, limiting how high those temperatures get. So while yes, there is some blue, you see it right there behind me, that blue sky not impacting how much heat we're receiving, a lot of that is due to our stratus cloud cover, 79 degrees. So temperature-wise, not too shabby, actually one of the cooler areas across North Mississippi. So as we continue to track those cameras here at the Room to Room Weather Center, 79 degrees in Smithville as well. You do see some of that cloud cover off there in the distance. That's still some of that blanketing cloud cover, but getting a little bit more blue. So those temperatures are cooling off, but they have been just around that same cool range for our afternoon commute. As we track more of those conditions around the Starkville area, I wanted to mention this area because you do see a lot more blue showing up. So those temperatures really climb with those clearer skies. A large part of our forecast going forward is just how much clear air are we going to receive? Clear air, clear skies are we going to receive, and how much cloudy skies are we going to see? Reason why that dictates a lot of our forecast is because, let's set the example, cloudy sky. Cloudy sky does what we do called trapping heat, but it also doesn't let any excess heat in. So overnight with that trapped heat, we don't cool off nearly as much because that heat doesn't radiate away. But then during the afternoon, since no more heat can get in, or at least very little heat can get into the forecast, our temperatures don't rise as much. So it's a very uniform temperature throughout the day, going to be starting a little bit warmer, but ending a little bit cooler. So if that makes sense. Whenever it's clear skies, it's the exact opposite. So that heat radiates out, and then we see the overnight conditions cool off drastically. So tonight, we mentioned it's going to be partly cloudy to mostly cloudy. Well, the next night, heading into our Tuesday evening, clear skies are going to dominate our forecast. That means much cooler air will move in place, but then during the afternoon, it also means temperatures warm up. So upper 70s, primary expected conditions for tomorrow. But whenever we talk about the extended forecast, it will be climbing, but climbing's a bit of a stretch. It's just clearing up just a bit. So sorry for the yap session. I felt like that needed to be explained because it helps kind of visualize the forecast going forward. So it feels like valleys, of course, that drier air is still a big part of our forecast, making it feel so much more comfortable outside as if the 80s weren't enough. But temperatures actually are in the upper 70s, low to mid 80s. Seeing a few upper 80s out there towards Greenwood, Belzona, and Greenville. 77 Tunica and South Haven. A lot of that thanks to that moisture moving in. But this is the graphic that I've been waiting to see all weekend long as those temperatures have dropped. So what we're seeing over the past 24 hours is a 6 7, 8, 9, even a 10-degree temperature swing from this time yesterday. And if you thought yesterday's forecast was good, I mean, just walk out the door and experience what we have right now, because it'll definitely take you by surprise. So that school day forecast, we mentioned that cloudy night tonight. Well, that means temperature is not going to be cooling off as much. Still a cooler start today for this time of year, but whenever you look at that Wednesday morning forecast, you'll see what I'm talking about, the change. 66 degrees around drop-off, 71 towards lunch, and that last belt, 77 degrees, so not climbing nearly as much either, ending, or that peak heating ending in about the upper 70s. Now, scattered showers for our morning commute, definitely going to be a big highlight and definitely going to be a reason why you have those windshield wipers on throughout your morning commute. Now, I had a different model because I have to figure out what's going on with that other short-range model, but this is usually one of our more aggressive models and showcases that rainfall even moving into the area overnight as well. Does a better job with what we're expecting tonight and into tomorrow morning as well, with those showers primarily sticking along the Tennessee state line, but that heavier batch that's out there towards Arkansas starting to move in early hours of our Tuesday. You watch how widespread this becomes, and this is about 6 a.m. on your Tuesday. A lot of that heavier stuff out there towards Marshall County and Tate and Tunica County. The rest of us still on the drier side. So if you're heading off really early, you might be escaping a few of those showers, but into that extended forecast, those showers become a bit more numerous. Low temperatures tomorrow morning, low to mid 60s across the region. So that's what we're talking about. That cloud cover limiting how much we cool off. Trust me, if it was a clear night, there'd be a lot of 50s on the screen. So that does mean that we're going to be a few ticks over what it should be if it were to be a clear night. But that moisture really lingering out there in the Delta, so limiting how much we cool off. 70 degrees would not be a surprise over there towards Greenville. But that's honestly going to be the exception to the rule. A lot of locations in the 60s for your forecast on your Tuesday morning. Those showers, like I mentioned, becoming a bit more numerous, and that basically blankets the entire area by 9 or 10 o'clock. So make sure to have that rain gear ready, especially if you're dropping those kids off at the bus stop. But even this model, or actually this is a swap over back to our other model, it shows that it is starting to dissipate out as we head further into the afternoon. So rain chances not going to be as numerous towards our afternoon commute, especially compared to our morning commute, but the chances are still there as some of that 10 to 20% chance lingers in that forecast. So 3 p.m., a lot of those showers down along 82, where it's up north, not going to be as high for those rain chances. The reason why that stationary front that is providing this moisture is pushing way to the south, so it's taking a lot of that moisture with it, leaving us drier up around the Tennessee state line. That continues into your evening plans. Some of those showers trying to make their way further north, but that's where that northern wind starts to move back into the forecast, and it's going to be that interaction between that southern wind, that Gulf moisture trying to push in, and also that more continental air, the battle between the two. High temperatures for your Tuesday. We mentioned with that cloud cover not cooling off, or sorry, not heating up nearly as much, so that that sunshine can't get into our atmosphere. Upper 70s across the region with a few exceptions. Low 80s Greenwood, Belzona, low 80s around South Haven, even up north there towards Corinth, especially where we get some of that clearing towards the afternoon. But heat indices, whether that moisture is in the forecast or not, remains the same with low humidity, meaning low mugginess, meaning a comfortable afternoon. Now, as we take our Tuesday evening, this is, again, one of our more aggressive models, the strike model, and it still has some of that moisture lingering into the late hours of our Tuesday. Now, is this what's going to happen? No, I do have those chances dissolving on out with very isolated chances overnight. Then we start to get a handle on things with this model as we push further into our overnight hours. Some of those showers trying to linger, but watch how this cloud cover just kind of pushes off there towards the south overnight and into the start of our Wednesday, starting along the Tennessee state line, really going to be around Highway 82 by 9 a.m. on our Wednesday. That stationary front pushes south and takes all of that moisture with it, and then it'll be a battle of that northeast wind pushing into the area, giving us plenty of clear skies and warming those temperatures up as a result. So it's going to be an amazing forecast, not going to be overly warm or overly sticky. It's just going to be that typical day that we've been seeing the past few days, but still in that cooler pattern. So Wednesday evening, that warm front starts to push in just a bit, and that's going to bring some of that moisture back into the forecast with some isolated showers, really picking up for the latter part of our work week and unfortunately into the weekend, yes, for week 1 of college football. Unfortunately, I know. High temperatures, mid to upper 80s, so there's that few ticks up from what we're going to see on Tuesday, a result of some of that clear skies that will allow that sunshine to radiate into our atmosphere and heat things up just a bit more. Heat indices showcase that drier air, so that's the good part about the forecast is, yes, even though temperatures are up, the dew points are still way down. And speaking of, look at your dew points right there. Tuesday and Wednesday, really low, and since that one on Wednesday is so low, temperature is actually going to be cooling off even more than what we'll have for our Tuesday. We're talking about upper 50s for a lot of locations. Wake up early and just go experience it, because I went outside, let's see, at about 6:45 this morning, and I almost put on a sweatshirt. it was that cool this morning. I think I did it just out of, I wanted to, just because I could in a comfortable fashion. But Wednesday, for sure, is your day. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, those dew points start to build once again, becoming more of that muggier forecast by Monday, but that's a result of that moisture in the air. So not going to be oppressive in any realm, but you do see that warming trend into the next few days. So 58 for the start of our Wednesday, 60s return by Thursday, and we're in the mid-60s. Closer to Monday, still a comfortable forecast. We're not talking mid-70s. We'll definitely take mid-60s, and even our highs right around the mid-80s around that same time frame. So we are looking exceptional in that extended forecast. And whenever we show those temperature outlooks, August 31st through September 4th, this is heading into the following month and into our Labor Day plans. You see that we are in the cooler range by a good margin. So staying below average even in the next week and a half to 2 weeks. And then we take it past that, take it September 2nd through September 8th, and you still see we're on the cooler side of things, so expecting to be below average. And as our 30-year averages diminishes into the rest of the year, whenever we see those temperature outlooks still show cooler conditions, we're talking below that 30-year average. So not below what temperatures are at right now, it's below whatever that average is around September 2nd through September 9th. And then the temperature outlook for the next 30, this is the unfortunate part about it, but we know that some of that warmer air does try to make a return, balancing things out, but we're not overly warm. Really, we're going to be around average there towards the northwest side of the state, there towards South Haven, Senatobia, and Holly Springs, but further southeast and really encompassing a large portion of our viewing area, above average conditions over the next 30. But for the next 2 weeks, looks pretty solid. 7 a.m., 66 degrees, still with a good bit of that moisture, so make sure to have that umbrella for your morning commute. 72 by noon, 79 is what we top out at tomorrow afternoon. Felt so good not to put an 80 in that forecast, and I was appreciating the 80s, but the fact that we can take a step back from there is such an enjoyable forecast. Sunshine does return Wednesday, warming things up, but that low temperature, upper 50s, I'm excited. Moisture does return there for your Thursday, Friday, and into your weekend, so keep that rain gear around. Don't let Wednesday fool you. We are going to keep those rainy conditions around just for a bit longer, but luckily temperature is not nearly oppressive, isn't even close to a term. So it's a great forecast to get out and about. I know Friday and Saturday, it's our football forecast, and we'll be tracking week 1 of games, but 20%, that's not too shabby for a summer forecast. But speaking of summer, it's the peak hurricane season as well, and we do have a tropical storm Fernand out there in the Atlantic. We're going to be walking through that forecast and just what to expect with the tropics coming up in the next 60, so keep it here for the very latest.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. We knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.
Community is the way we find our strength and share our hope. It's the way dinner on the table brings a family closer together. It's the way we make sure his first chapter book is the first step on his path to greatness. It's the way we rally in hard times and rise back up stronger than ever. United is the way we come together so everyone can thrive. Join us at unitedway.org.
Welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. We're talking about the tropics and how we usually see a larger number when it comes to activity this time of year. And the reason why is because that peak tropical season is about right now up until the mid part of October. So we can see that the number of named storms really start to rise, and this is over the 30-year time frame, and some of those storms get up there pretty high. So it's been an active pattern, and that's going to be something that we continue to see over the next several days and over the next month or so is an influx in that tropical activity. Currently tracking Tropical Storm Fernand, like I mentioned, but we are still in the thick of tropical season, so don't let it fool you. Even though it's just one storm, that could ramp up relatively quickly. So speaking of, let's go ahead and track out Fernand, and that's currently out there in the Atlantic. Tropical storm strength, and that'll continue progressing north and east. You see on your Monday, 60-mile-an-hour winds, so just under that hurricane threshold or Category 1 hurricane threshold, dropping to about 45 miles an hour by Tuesday afternoon and 40 miles an hour closer to Wednesday morning. So this remains means a pretty decent storm, but fortunately keeping away from us here in the central United States. A large high pressure system actually blocking us off. So fortunately, we're not seeing anything in regards to tropical concerns, especially not here in North Mississippi. But some of that Atlantic rip currents that you can get off the coastal regions there in the Northeast, we're not even seeing that either. So fortunate forecast, honestly, as good of a forecast as you can get this time of year. One that if you would have told me 2 weeks ago we'd be experiencing, I would have said you were crazy. But you were not crazy because it happened. I want to go through the comments here and just make sure, hey Matt, if you are out and about and listening, the folks are asking what the score is of the JV game. But that was what Matt was talking about earlier, was our football forecast that we're wanting to do this weekend. We're going to post that on a poll tomorrow, so please make sure to vote. Make sure to put your submissions down in the comments. So if you want your team to be featured here at Mississippi Live Weather for our Friday night football forecast. But yeah, we just want to be a part of what you guys are doing and be a part of the community. And so we're excited about that, excited to make it happen. And I will speak for Matt when I say that excitement is an understatement for what we are expecting Friday nights to be. And we're excited that you guys get to be a part of it, to view those highlights and just, you know, we're not just a weather channel. We can do a lot of things here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Mississippi Live Weather at 6. We're of course tracking more on those temperatures coming up tonight at 10. Latest model outputs, and I promise I will fix whatever happened with the model outputs earlier this evening at 6. Again, apologies for that, but technology is technology, right? So make sure to tune in tonight at 10 for the very latest on that forecast. You can of course download the free app, iOS and Android, right here to my left and right. So download that respective app today. And Mississippi Live on Roku to get the latest on your streaming service. Still waiting on Fire Stick and Apple TV, unfortunately, but we're hoping very soon. We do have latest app updates too. So this gets you the latest version of the app with all the latest additions that we have. And of course, our next broadcast happening tonight at 10. So make sure to tune in. And yes, you do see it on your screen. Live shows at 6:37 and 7:30 a.m. That starts on your Wednesday. So don't be confused. Don't wake up early tomorrow. But we will have the latest updates with Maggie happening Wednesday morning. We're so excited, and we cannot wait to see you back here tonight at 10. We hope you guys have a fantastic evening. Go outside. It's a great forecast for it. And then come back at 10 for the very latest on what to expect.
You may see a teen struggling to find his way. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we see a teen gaining the confidence and skills to land his first job. Kids today need people to see their potential and help them achieve it. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we do whatever it takes to help kids succeed. Because when we see young people, we see limitless possibilities. Do you? Join us, Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures.